The world stands at a crossroads, facing growing geopolitical tensions that could potentially lead to World War III. Conflicts in Europe, Asia, and the Middle East have escalated in recent years, leading many to wonder, are we on the brink of a global war? In this video, we will break down the major conflicts shaping global instability, the key players involved, and the likelihood of an all-out war. Major global conflicts, driving tensions, Russia-Ukraine war, a flashpoint for global conflict. The Russia-Ukraine war, which began in February 2022, remains a major point of global instability. Russia's invasion of Ukraine has led to a prolonged war with devastating consequences. The United States, NATO, and the European Union have provided Ukraine with military aid, sanctions against Russia, and intelligence support, further fueling the tension. Key developments. Russia has annexed parts of Ukraine, including Crimea in 2014 and Donetsk and Luhansk in 2022. NATO has expanded its presence in Eastern Europe, with Finland and Sweden joining the alliance. The war has led to economic crises, food shortages, and energy disruptions worldwide. A wider escalation between NATO and Russia could potentially ignite a global conflict, especially if nuclear weapons are introduced into the battlefield. 2. China versus Taiwan, a ticking time bomb? Another major global hotspot is China's aggressive stance on Taiwan. The Chinese government considers Taiwan a breakaway province, while Taiwan views itself as a sovereign nation. In recent years, China has increased military drills, violated Taiwan's airspace, and threatened military action if Taiwan declares full independence. Key developments. The US has reaffirmed its support for Taiwan with increased weapons sales and strategic partnerships. China has conducted large-scale military exercises near Taiwan, simulating an invasion scenario. The South China Sea remains contested, with rising military tensions between the US and China. If China invades Taiwan, it could draw the United States, Japan, and NATO into a direct military confrontation, escalating into a full-scale war. 3. Middle East crisis. Israel-Iran, Palestine conflict, and regional instability. The Middle East remains one of the most volatile regions, with ongoing conflicts between Israel and Iran, the Palestinian crisis, and power struggles in Syria, Iraq, and Yemen. Key developments. Israel and Iran have engaged in proxy wars in Syria, Lebanon, and Iraq. Iran is advancing its nuclear weapons program, leading to fears of a preemptive Israeli or US strike. The Gaza conflict between Israel and Hamas has escalated, leading to international condemnation. The Houthis in Yemen and militias in Iraq continue to pose threats to regional stability. If these conflicts intensify, they could pull in major global powers, including the US, Russia, and China, into a larger war. 4. North Korea's nuclear threats. North Korea remains a wild card in global tensions, with its unpredictable leader, Kim Jong-un, ramping up missile tests and nuclear threats against the US, South Korea, and Japan. Key developments. North Korea has tested ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles, capable of reaching the US. The US and South Korea have conducted military drills, angering North Korea. North Korea's close ties with Russia and China could complicate any potential war scenario. Any military escalation on the Korean peninsula could lead to US intervention, triggering a broader regional or global conflict. Key global alliances and their role. NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, a military alliance of 31 nations, primarily from North America and Europe, committed to defending member states from external aggression. Involved in Ukraine's defense against Russia, increasing tensions with Moscow. The Quad Alliance, US, India, Japan, Australia, formed to counter China's rising influence in the Indo-Pacific region. supports Taiwan and challenges China's territorial claims in the South China Sea. BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. An economic and political alliance that includes two major global powers, Russia and China, acts as a counterweight to US and NATO influence. The role of nuclear weapons. The presence of nuclear weapons in the hands of global superpowers raises the stakes in any potential conflict. The US, Russia, China, the UK, France, India, Pakistan, North Korea, and Israel all possess nuclear weapons. The doctrine of mutually assured destruction, MAD, has prevented full-scale wars in the past, as any conflict between nuclear-armed nations would be catastrophic. The risk of a nuclear miscalculation or an accidental launch remains a serious threat. Cyber warfare, the silent battlefield. Modern warfare is no longer fought only on the ground. Cyber warfare has emerged as a key battleground, with countries launching cyber attacks against each other's infrastructure, governments, and financial systems. Russia, China, North Korea, and Iran are accused of carrying out state-sponsored cyber attacks. The US and its allies have strengthened their cyber security measures. The next war might not start with bombs, but with a cyber attack crippling global systems. Could World War III really happen? While tensions are higher than ever, a full-scale World War III is not inevitable. Several factors could prevent an all-out global conflict. 1. Diplomatic efforts and peace talks. The United Nations, UN, European Union, EU, and other organizations continue to push for diplomatic solutions. Countries rely on economic ties and global trade, which could discourage war. 2. The cost of war. A global war would lead to economic collapse, mass casualties, and destruction. The presence of nuclear weapons deters direct military confrontation. 3. Changing political leadership. Future elections in the US, Russia and China could lead to policy changes that de-escalate tensions. Global powers may shift towards diplomacy over conflict. Conclusion. The world is experiencing one of the most volatile periods in modern history. From Russia, Ukraine, and China, Taiwan, to Middle East tensions and nuclear threats, the risk of global conflict is real. However, diplomacy, economic dependencies, and deterrence mechanisms continue to prevent full-scale World War III. For now, what do you think? Will the world find a way to de-escalate tensions, or is a third world war unavoidable? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.